Tish. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for coming to Tillian Trillion. I am so excited.
Thanks for having me.
I
I'm
feel like
excited.
I'm your biggest fan. Uh,
Oh, thank
I really am. So I'm kind of girl crushing right now.
you.
Um, I think, I kind of discover you. After like your wedding, and obviously I was like obsessed with all your outfits, but like more than the outfits and kind of like the aesthetic, I was just so excited to like see someone that didn't look and didn't try to look like everyone else in a time where the algorithm was feeding me all these random people that all look the same.
Yeah. I get those people. I kind of like wish I looked like them actually. I was like, why
Do
can't I look
you?
like a normal person or like
I
do
think
normal?
you're so beautiful. Like I think it's just so boring to see continuously people that constantly look and have no sense of personal style either. And I think like when I'm saying you look like yourself is like your aesthetic and the way you dress and the way you do your makeup and everything is just so just you that I find it so refreshing to like see that.
Thank you. I mean, I've definitely tried to do like highlighter on my nose before and like when they do the like blusher on the nose. I just basically I've got a big nose, so I think if I
Yeah.
put anything on it, it doesn't look good. Um, and I'm really shit at doing makeup, so I can't really, and so I just do. And my eyes are actually quite a natural reddish color, like the skin around them, because they've got like a thread vein on there. Anyway, it's just like fleshy, so I look like I've got red eyes anyway. And then sometimes I enhance it. I kind of look like I've got conjunctivitis or like sky always. And actually, my mum, because when I was younger, I used to wear like all black eye makeup and I never removed it. My mum would be like, you'll get a sty. Um, and she was right. But I liked it. I liked the look. But I think now looking back at it was quite frightening. But I guess I wanted to be frightening. I wanted to scare people off. But now, yeah, I don't really. I do enjoy getting my makeup done if occasionally if I'm going out or if it's for a shoot or something. But there are times when I've had it done and I looked in the mirror and I'm like, oh no, who's that person? And especially when like a makeup artist will do really heavy brows on me. I was actually just filming something in the summer and with my daughter Phoenix, and they were like putting eyebrow stuff on it, and I like would look in the mirror and I'd be like, oh, so I'd run to my trailer and get like the kids' baby wipes and just like wipe them back. It was just too much, and I was like, I'm having like facial dysmorphia. I'm like, who is
It's
that
just so
person?
weird. I went to a wedding in Beirut and they were like, you should get your makeup done. And I was like, oh, I should. That would be a treat. They did so much contour of me. I don't recognize
Yeah,
myself. I literally had to
yeah,
wipe the whole thing out and just put
yes,
lipstick. And I
yeah,
was
yeah.
so uncomfortable because I was like, why are you trying to make me look like I'm someone else?
No, I know. I guess, yeah, I think someone, I'm always worried when someone finishes my makeup and they're like, oh my God, you look great. I'm like, oh, really? You think this? No. Um, but yeah, it's taken, I kind of now I know what I like and I know what looks good and what doesn't look good. I'm kind of, I'm less like, I'm not, when someone's like, oh, what should we do like a look? Like, should we do like, jewels on your eyes. And I'm like, no, I'm not someone that wants to like. I don't go to enough like red carpet events anyway to like do like a look. I just want to look like myself, but like better.
Better. Yeah.
Uh,
Were you
so yeah.
always trying new things like when you were growing up, or did you always have this very clear identity since you were a teen?
Um, I think over the year, in terms of like style and clothes, over the years, I definitely try to experiment with different things, but like deep down, I mean, my friends sort of take the piss out of me because there was a phase where I would like always wear a dog's collar. And I had like my black eyeliner down here. And they were just like, oh, you little goth. And then in later years, I've like I've experimented. There was a time where I was like, do you know what? Like, I think I need to like look like a normal person and like fit into this idea of what I thought like a hot woman looked like, um, to land a man, and it didn't work. And I was like, fuck it. There's no point trying to look like someone else. There also was another time after I had Ruben, my son. um, I had like basically like a breakdown. I was like, what does a mother wear? Like a mother can't look like, you know, Morticia Adams. She needs to look. I was like, basically, I got balayage in my hair, so like
Oh,
blonde bits. Speaking of eyebrows, I was using this like eyebrow gel, and it made them really dark and thick. So I had thick, dark brows, blonde hair, and then I started wearing navy, and like basically it was like full look the row, because I was like, this is what a chic mother
you're an
wears,
Upper East Side mom.
like Stan Smiths. No, it was really which is like, you know what, really chic on someone else, that whole look. I think I was like, oh, I'm Phoebe Philo, but I'm not.
Yeah.
And and then I looked in the mirror one day and I was like, wait, who am I? This is not this is not what I want for myself. And so I like
Went
shed
back.
that layer. But I think, yeah, I've tried on different identities through various ways of doing makeup and through my wardrobe, and but I've always come back to this base level, like to that young goth with the like dog. I mean, I don't know, I don't wear like I'm not wearing dog's collars from like Demonia anymore, but I'm wearing them like maybe it's a John Galliano Messai choker. Like I've leveled up, but it's
Yeah.
like the vibe's still the same.
How was getting pregnant as far as getting dressed? Because I feel like for
Oh,
me,
it's fun.
I was like, I never felt sexier. Because I was like, I always struggled
Same,
with my weight. So I was like, oh, my belly has a purpose. I can show it to the world now, you know? How was that
same,
for you? And
same.
was
So
it different the first time around than the second time around as far as getting dressed?
I basically at the beginning bit, the beginning bits of the pregnancy is I'm like not in a good space, mental space, never. But when I get into like second trimester, um, when like the bump is bumping,
Yeah.
that's when I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna wear something like skin tight bodycon, which is so not my natural stay, but I just loved having this curve, this like bump here. And like, okay, I know everyone took the piss out of Meghan Markle because, you know, when she did those like, I can't see, you know, when she did that, you know, pose with her hands
Oh,
on
yeah,
her,
the little.
but like, obviously you do that because otherwise you don't, no one knows what's going on there. You do it to like define yourself and to be like, you know, just to highlight that the bump is a baby. So I got really into that. I loved being this like curvy, I loved being like womanly, curvy, and then with with Phoenix, my second pregnancy, I remember like I like the bigger I got, the tighter I wanted. I don't know like psychologically what that was happening there, but I remember wearing a lot of Dilara Findicoglu, and I wore this like amazing black leather corset with like exaggerated boobs, with like my bump showing, and then I also wore this like PVC long sleeved high necked top, which I like haven't worn since. I don't know what I like. And I wore that to my friend's screening of her film. I don't know. I definitely it allowed me to experiment with my femininity in a way that I don't really normally like. Normally, I'll wear a very shapeless 1920s dress or a 1930s dress that just sort of like falls off me, and I love that look of like material just falling off. Like I'm sort of
Mhm.
like it's just I haven't really thought about it, even though obviously I've thought about it a lot. So it's sort of there's like this character of being like completely undone and like really romantic and sort of like chaotic, and that's sort of how I like to dress. But when I was pregnant, it was very much like together. It was much more like together and like leaning into that those curves and tight forms and like stricter silhouettes.
Did you ever, I mean, I don't think you did, but did you ever
No,
buy any maternity anything?
no, no. And that I think is just because so my kids are born a week apart, but 4 years apart.
Okay.
So me and Tom joke that we basically have our annual Christmas shag, and then we have these summer babies. But actually, it kind of works because I'm my most pregnant in summer when I'm literally just wearing like no clothes,
Yeah.
like a loose, like a nightie. I love in my summer wardrobe is these 1930s or 1940s silk nighties that like, you know, come in all sizes, and some are And I love them loose and like, floaty, and that's what I wear when I'm pregnant. Um,
I know. I personally hate maternity. I never purchased anything
yeah,
maternity in my
yeah,
life, and I'm
no,
very proud of that.
yes,
Because I feel like it's a sign of giving up. And
I
you know what I mean? I don't care about how I look anymore. Like this baby has taken over
yeah.
me.
I'm sure there's really nice maternity wear out there. I just haven't explored that
Really?
option.
Really? Really? Are
I
you actually
don't
sure about that? Are you
know.
actually sure about that?
I don't know. But I definitely did look for things. Like I bought some Dilara stuff.
Yeah.
I love her
And like
stuff
bias
anyway. And
cut dresses and stuff like that already kind of like lend themselves to like have
yeah,
better.
yeah, 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 yeah. And like, yeah, Hunza G, that kind of fabric. Like that, I just stretch. Anything stretch, which is not my natural. I'm not a stretch girly when I'm not pregnant.
How is it like the process of like becoming a mom for you? Like, did you always knew that you wanted to become a mom, or is it something that kind of just
No,
happened?
no, 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 no. I'm the youngest of three girls. I'm like 6 and 8 years younger than my two sisters. I'm the baby of the family, like the runt of the family. I'm very much, and I've been babied basically all my life. I can't do anything. I can't drive. I can't cook. And like out of all, and I was one of those kids at school. I was like a very late bloomer, like didn't get breasts until like late, didn't get my period till late, like didn't lose my virginity till late. Like I was not that girl.
Yeah.
And suddenly I'm the first out of my friends to have a baby.
Oh, you were the
It
first?
Yeah, 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 yeah. It was crazy. I'm like most of my friends like don't even have kids now. They're just like
How old are
thinking.
you? I'm sorry. You're
I'm about to be 35.
oh, okay.
Um and my son Ruben just turned 6 today, so I was 28, which isn't young at all by any means to have a kid.
It's young for like a city. Like I like it's young for New York, London, and maybe I don't think Paris. Probably is young for London and New York.
Yeah, it just felt really right to do with Tom, my now husband. We got married after Ruben was born, so we got married in 2022, the year before I had my daughter, Phoenix. So we'd been going out for like 2 years. He's 5 years older than me. He'd also been married before, so I think in his mind he was like, I don't know if I could get married and divorced again. Not that we would end up in divorce necessarily, but like I'm fresh out of my
Yeah,
divorce. I
yeah,
like I'm not rushing down the aisle, but it got to that point in the relationship where like something kind of I had to like we had to like take the next stage,
yeah.
whatever that was. I mean, we probably should have just like moved in together, but instead we were like, let's have a baby. um, but I didn't. I like we didn't think it was gonna happen like that quickly. So I took my coil out, thinking, oh, people get like it'll take. I didn't think I was gonna be very fertile. I was just like, oh, I'll take my coil out and like we'll get pregnant like in a year. um, I got pregnant immediately. And so we were just like, oh, wow. And honestly, it was the best thing that I have ever done because it just basically rooted me to the like anchored me, like rooted me to the world. It made me like take myself and my life and my relationships and like everything I was doing, my career, a lot more seriously. I was like, okay. I think I always thought of myself as like I was always very shy. I always thought of myself as like kind of a joke or like I was the joker. And so it kind of made me like, yeah, just take responsibility. And it dragged me kicking and screaming into adulthood. Um, and so it was sort of like the making of me. But did I know what I was doing? Absolutely not. And like everyone's like, oh my God, did you read this book? Like they're like, did you join a parent group or like do anything? I was like, no, no,
How
it's
was
not.
it with your friends at the beginning? Randomly, a lot of my friends were having kids that same year, so I had kind of that support system. How
Yeah,
was
no.
it actually not having that?
Well, I think my elder sister had her son but we approach things very differently. Like she got all the books, all the kit, all the stuff, and I was just
Which
like,
is the
I
first
don't.
daughter. Of course she did. She,
Yeah,
she
yeah, yeah,
worked
yeah,
hard.
exactly. And I was like, I don't want to like. I was like, I'll deal with it when it comes. And it came. Ruben came, and we were like, okay, we deal with it. And it's like really hardcore. Like at the beginning, it's obviously like you're in the trenches, and we had help. We had a maternity nurse, but even so, I was like, you have to be the one breast. If you're breastfeeding, you're the one doing it. And
Did you?
like, yeah, I breastfed. I breastfed for 2 months.
Do you like it?
I feel I like ambivalent. So I loved that. Like, I loved that it was something that it came really naturally to me,
Oh,
which
okay.
I was very surprised at because I was like, oh god, but it just happened, and it felt very like instinctive, and it felt right.
Yeah.
And I liked that I could do it. It was something I was the only person that could like have this with Ruben, and I was like, okay, this is great. But my nipples really hurt, obviously. Sometimes I was like, "Ow, this is uncomfortable," and I resented the fact that like even though I liked being the only one who could do it, I resented the fact that I was the only one that could do it. I felt like a fucking cow. Like I like would at a point when I was so tired, I would like dread that like I'd be like, ugh, how are you hungry again? Like you've just fed this bottomless pit. I was like, this is crazy. So like I loved it and then I fucking hated it. I was like a slave to it. And I was like, I can't. And then like our maternity nurse was like, you need to, then she like basically messed with my not met like it's not her fault, obviously, like shit happens. But she was kind of like, oh, she tried to like sort of put a technique onto it, or she tried to like be like, do this and then do that. And then in the end, for whatever reason, um, I got mastitis. I got a blocked milk duct, and then eventually I had an abscess. So like 2.5 months, I went into hospital. I felt like I was being stabbed and burnt at the same time, and I went into hospital like going like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa." And I guess like in the olden days I would have just died, because that's what happens to women. And they like hooked me up to um what's called antibiotics. They aspirated it with a needle. It wouldn't budge, and then eventually on like day 8 the whole breast just like imploded. And my husband was like, oh my God, I thought we were going to lose the nipple. And I was just like, what are you talking about? Me, bitch. And
Definitely
my,
not your nipple, but yeah.
yeah. And then at that point, I looked like I had a bullet wound in my breast. And our maternity nurse was like, oh, you can still breastfeed. I was like, out of what hole? Like,
No,
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 it's a wrap.
no.
And then they bumped into this woman in the lift who weirdly my husband knew. I don't know. And we were just, and she was like, oh, you don't, I was in a wheelchair at this point. She's like, you don't look very well. I was like, no, I'm not. This
Thanks.
is in a hospital, obviously. And then
Yeah,
she was like, and I was like, oh, I got like an abscess. And then she was like, oh, well, you can try next time. And I was like, what do you mean? I tried this time. Like, there's just this like culture of like, you must breastfeed.
it's so
Because if
weird to
you
me.
don't, like, you're the devil. And I was so freaked out by what had happened. Like spending I think it was like 10 days in the hospital.
That's
As
awful.
I mean, it was great because I could catch up on sleep and like just
Yeah,
not,
and
you
people
know.
were taking care of you for once, so you're like,
Yeah, it's
actually,
great. I loved it, but
huh?
I was in a lot of pain. As I don't really want to go through that again. So for Phoenix, I took a pill and just didn't breastfeed. I took a pill to
Yeah,
stop my milk coming in. Also, like I went back to work quicker, and like I just was like, you know what? I don't want to get that again. And psychologically, the idea of like not being able to wean and not be able to stop, I
yeah.
was like, I don't, no thanks, no. So I didn't.
Yeah, I
She
think
was,
I had a horrible. I mean, my son never did the first one, and the second one I did it for 5 seconds. But like, it's just not for me. It gives me
yeah,
anxiety to be on call, and I feel like it should be more normalized. To It's okay if it's not for you. If you're getting a joy out of it and you're having that bonding, that's wonderful.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
but
yeah.
also there's people doing it for like 5 years. I'm
No,
sorry, that's weird. That's weird.
the
Like,
kid is saying thank you and please. It's not cool.
and if they can bite you, if
No,
they
it's
can
disgusting.
only bite your nipple, like
No,
that's just not
no,
okay.
no. I think it's unacceptable. I mean, like if that's what you like, great for you. I'm just a bit like, ooh, scary. I don't. Yeah, I think the child should not maybe be talking
Yeah,
when.
probably not. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably not. How was it for you and Tom? Kind of that transition, like. You
Oh
know,
my God, it's crazy. So, like at the beginning, I really understand. I was like, oh my God, I get why people break up when they have kids because your whole world is like to totally changed. And I remember this is like also like when you've just had a kid. Well, I found that I was like a bundle of hormones, all negative, like hormones. Like I was depressed. I was just like, I resented having, even though I loved breastfeeding, I resented it. And I was very like chained to Ruben. And I was just like, this, I just felt all the feelings. Whereas Tom like went back to work and like, I mean, he's a stylist. So he wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm on an office job Monday to Friday. He was like traveling and he was on set and he was like doing things that I was like, I want to be doing that. It's
yeah.
fun. Obviously it's hard work, but like I was, it's
It's just
he
it's a we until you're the one that is actually left doing everything because you're feeding them. You're the one that just went through this. Your body's not the same. Mentally, you're not well. Like it's
yeah,
everything is
yeah,
on
yeah.
you, but it's a we project. But the other person is not really doing much the first 3 or 4 months.
Exactly, exactly. And it's like, so I was like very jealous that he was back in the real world. And then we'd be like at dinner and I'd be like, like cross out, I'm so tired. He like was brilliant, by the way. Like he did nappies, he nappies and like when we were doing bottles, did bottles, baths, like he was so hands-on. But when he was there, but like he was also not there because he was
Mhm.
working, and I was just like, this sucks. So I have to say, like, I've anyone that sees my husband is like, oh my God, he's so hands on.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like all the got men and couples that I know are not like that. So I'm so lucky. Like, and I always say that he's like a better mother than I am. Like, he drives us everywhere. He cooks for us. He like, he would breastfeed if he could.
Oh my
But
God, wouldn't that be amazing if they
yeah,
could?
no, he's amazing. But I just when he, I don't know, it's different for the woman because like societally it's different. Like you're the one that gets asked questions about everything, and like you're the one whose body is recovering and has dealt with this like really intense thing, your hormones, your emotions, like everything. And then like the mother's guilt, like guys can just like go away and work. And I mean, this is a gross generalization, obviously, but like there is this expectation that a man can just switch off and leave and go and do the work. Whereas like the woman who leaves, it's kind of like slightly more shocking. And I
Do you think the
think
expectation comes from mothers themselves or from society or both?
everything. I think it comes from it's societal, but I think mothers perpetuate it
Yeah.
because, of course, we do perpetuate these harmful ideas because we're so entrenched in them. It's like part of the stories that we read and everything. Even though like we're challenging it and that now, I don't think like I don't see that. I think that they'll persist.
Yeah.
But then there are other mothers who have given up their careers for kids and their whole world is like raising their children. And I think if we challenge these, if we, I don't know, I think they need to have these structures in place to like make them feel like they're completely justified, and they are. I think everyone should be able to do their own thing basically without
Yeah.
any judgment.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think if we're constantly harping on about how like women shouldn't feel guilty and that women should be in the workplace, then the women who have chosen not to be in the workplace, it kind of sucks for them. So that's why I think it's a difficult thing to do. And I think, yeah, it's all it's whatever you think, whatever works for
Works
you,
for you.
basically. Yeah.
How did you guys manage to keep the spark alive?
It's about, and also like, I know it's really bad, but like, we definitely we a lot of the times we have one if not two kids in the bed because it'll just happen, whatever. So it's about having smart sex, basically, like seizing the moment where you've got free time and like
You
making
schedule it.
it. It's not scheduled, like it's not regimented, but it's very like, I don't know, suddenly you'll be like, oh, there's like an alone time.
Okay. Yeah.
We don't do date night, which I think is probably a mistake. But I think where I'm like at the opening of an envelope pretty much in London every night. So I'm like, oh look, there's like a launch party for this like piece of shit. I'll go. because I'm like, oh no, it's like I should be going or whatever, or like I'm not being paid to or whatever it is. And Tom is either like working on set late or whatever. And so when we get an in night, we're so tired, right?
Yeah.
Like every other couple. And so it's about like it's about maybe being like, oh, like the afternoon, we're both here. Like maybe we should
Yeah.
do something.
Yeah.
But or like we went to an exhibition the other day, which was really nice, and I was like, oh my god, we don't hang out at all. Like we do, obviously, like we'll go to see friends in groups and stuff, but it's rare to like just do something
Just the
together.
two. Yeah.
Um, but it is when we do, it's always like so nice. And it's like, oh my God, we forget to do this because, it's like when we have like an off night, we're just like so dead and like we'll hang out with the kids. And
Yeah.
on the weekend, again, it's like with the kids and like, yeah, it's exhausting. So I guess it's about, but I do think we probably need to be more proactive and being like, let's go and do this together because you're just kind of like, I think you need to work at that's,
Yeah.
it takes
Yeah.
work. And that is why I think you see so many couples take that eye off the ball, and that's where problems come. So I think as long as people, but yeah, we will have. I mean, Tom and I are going to Venice tomorrow,
Oh,
so
amazing.
trust us
No
too.
kids or like
No,
kids.
no kids. It's for our friends. Hoda Ackerman, he's launching this new fragrance as part of Tom Ford. So he's doing a dinner on the Friday night, but we're going tomorrow. So we'll be together. So yes, it's like a sort of it's more of a social work thing, but we will be together and there are no kids. So
That already feels like a
yeah,
vacation and two a date,
yes.
like an
Yeah, yeah,
extended
yeah, it's
date.
great. It's heaven. So yeah,
I
we
really enjoy days. After a certain point, you kind of need to like schedule it. That's what I was asking. I am not a scheduling type of person,
good.
um, but I do see the value in that when your life is so busy and you're working so much and he's also working so much, and
Yeah,
like otherwise it doesn't get done. And then the longer you don't do it, the harder
yeah,
it is to like
totally.
feel that.
Yeah, it's got you need to sort of like seize, we found that you need to like seize the moment.
Yeah.
Like, if we've got like a spare half an hour, you might
Do
be
you
like,
guys
so
do you guys want more kids? Are you done?
I don't know. I don't love being pregnant. I don't like the newborn phase. I feel very overwhelmed. I'm very hormonal. I'm very like anxious. I'm very sad. And you're like the pressure to keep this like infant alive. And it's just like the routine. They can't tell you what they want. I find that like so overwhelming, even with help. And I find it just like tend to like mentally kind of spiral.
Yeah.
It's just like exhausting. We just my also I've got a terrible back, which makes me sound so like old and lame, being like I've got a bad back, but I do like I. It's basically with Ruben, I only ever carried him on this side, and like I basically having seen the film Erin Brockovich when
Yeah.
Julia Roberts is carrying the baby, I was like I want to do that. That for me was like motherhood. So I did that and I did it on one side and I like fucked my back up. But then like obviously he grew up and I didn't carry him. Cut to Phoenix, this like historical pain has like lit up. I do it on this side, but it's really uncomfortable. I've like my hips are this wrong different heights now because of the thing. I'm got a terribly weak core. I don't know how to stand or lift or carry or do anything properly. I've been doing it for like 35 years wrong. And now my back is in agony and like I'm constantly in back pain. And I'm just like, I need Phoenix to like, she can walk, she can talk. But she likes to be lifted. And I just don't know if I can go through that again. And like
Yeah.
also, Tom and I can take one kid each. Like when they're both being crazy,
Yeah.
one can take one, the other can take the other. It's just I struggle with two, and we've
Yeah.
got help. Like I don't ever want to like mislead anyone into thinking it's there are some people who do it alone, and that I'm just like those people deserve fucking medals. I flew back from New York with the two kids by myself, and I was like, I
I've never
can't.
done that. I've never flown with.
Oh
Oh,
hell! No one fucking helps you either. Like no one helps you. I like the flight was delayed from 9:30 to 1:30 in the morning. The
oof.
kids were asleep. I had to wake them up. I was like wrestling with the yo-yo, trying to put it down. But like Phoenix was on the floor, crawling around, crying. Ruben was crying, and then I dropped this like packet of rice cakes from my bag, and like I picked the yo-yo in my bag and two kids up, and someone was like, "You dropped these crisps," and I was like, "Oh, does it? This is at 1:30 when I'm knackered." And I was like, "Oh, it's okay. Like, I don't need it. Like, I couldn't deal with it." And so I got on the plane, and the steward was like, "Madam, it's a security risk." And I was like, I didn't know anything. I had nothing clever or funny or like outraged to say. I was just like, ah. But then I was just like, your fucking flight was 4 hours late. It's not a security risk. It's been through security. These crisps have been through security. Like, what it's not, I'm not going to bomb in there. Like, okay, someone else can just pick them up and put them in
That's
a
what I
bin.
was gonna say. Someone just can go and pick them up.
Yeah, or pick it up and put it in my bag. But I can't, I literally can't bend down. Anyway, it was a nightmare. And I was like, I don't get it. Like, people who do it alone, I'm so in awe of people who do it in a couple without help. I'm in awe
Yeah,
of people do it with help. I'm still in awe of because it's still fucking hard.
it
Actually, like
is
it's
very hard.
still there's never enough help.
There's never enough help. That's what I was telling you earlier. Maybe I should just move back to Latin America where you can have like a stuff. But I mean, it sounds so cheesy to say you need a village. And like, I
Yeah,
hate all these girls on Instagram that are like posting all the time, pretending they don't have help and like showcasing only kind of like the highlights because it's not realistic whatsoever. It's just, there's
yeah.
no way you can look that way, like, you know what I mean, and do everything on your
No,
own.
totally. I mean, we have. So our nanny Bev was my old nanny when I was a kid.
Oh, that's so
So
cute.
it's really cute, but it's also really dysfunctional. She like being around her makes me a kid, and so she'll. It's like there's this tension between who's the mom between
Yeah.
me and her and like the kids, and sometimes I feel like my kid's older sister because like Bev will be like telling me off or like telling me how to do something, and I'm just like, whoa, what's happening here? And we've got very different parenting styles. She's like, the children's clothes must be ironed. I'm like, they don't need to be ironed. And she's like, anyway, so this is like back and forth, but like we love her, and she's like my second mother. She lives with us, and it's great.
Yeah.
But you know, she's 60 something,
So if you
and
want to have a third kid, you need to do it now. Otherwise, she's not going to
yeah,
be able to be
yeah.
helping you.
I know, but like you know, she needs help, and basically, we were gonna just we ended up getting someone to help us because he's on the weekend, because with the two kids, when Tom's working on the
Yeah.
weekend, I was like, I can't really do it
It's a lot.
myself,
Yeah.
and also a 4 year age gap. They like very different things, Ruben and Phoenix. So like you kind of need one person doing one kid, the other one doing the other. And like when Tom's away, I, yeah, I find it
Lot.
impossible. So it's so we've now got someone who helps us on the weekend.
Are your parents helpful or his parents? Or not
So
really?
Tom and I, we both lost a parent each when we were young. I lost my dad when I was 5, and Tom lost his mum when he was 17. And Tom's dad is 96.
Okay.
So like,
He's not running around after kids. No.
no, no,
Yeah. Yeah.
he's we love beloved granddaddy. We love him. My mom is like she's a great granny. Like she took Ruben to the British Museum and like taught him about the ancient Romans and like you know she's great in those ways, but like she's not changing a nappy.
Yeah.
She's not cooking them lunch or dinner
Yeah.
because she didn't do that for me. So
Yeah.
instead,
So it's like, why would I have to do it now?
so yeah, why would she have to do it now? And like I get it. So like we don't have family those like like, we don't have grandparents that like will be like my mom is she's babysat Ruben once
Okay.
and she said it was great. She's like and it was you know it was fine, but like it kind of and with her husband with her husband and like they were both together and I think it was like fun for them and like Ruben thought it was fun as well, but it's not they're not like she's got her own life. I'm not like, oh, can you babysit? We're going to Venice tomorrow. Like, bye. That's
Fair.
not her thing. And like, whatever. So but we've got Bev, who is basically like another grandmother.
Yeah.
Um,
That's amazing. That's so sweet that you were able to have your own
Yeah, no, it's very special. Yeah, I don't know what we do
Yeah.
without her.
Yeah,
Help.
I mean, yeah, my parents are not like that either. It's like, oh, I'm babysitting with the nanny. Send me the
Yeah,
nanny
yeah,
so I can
yeah,
babysit,
yeah, yeah,
right?
exactly. And like my mom, you know, is very she's got a lot of precious things in her house.
Yeah,
She likes like very good manners. She likes like law and order, and like it's not conducive maybe to kids running
yeah,
around creating mess. It's just not her thing. I
yeah,
respect that. I didn't respect it when I was younger. I was like, you're crazy and like you can't control what I do. But now I'm just like, you know what? I get it. Having kids makes you think very differently about your parents. It gives you a lot more compassion for them.
yeah,
You're like, okay, like I get it. Like things that I resented about my mom growing up, I'm kind of like, okay, I get it. Like she just wanted to live her, just because she had kids doesn't mean her life had to stop. And the
yeah,
same for me and other mothers. Like you can still, I don't know, it's that when you're a kid, you expect like your parents to devote their entire lives to you. Why
yeah,
wouldn't they? But actually, you only get one life. Like you should be able to like live it according to how you want.
yeah.
With and you think the respect goes both ways. You need to respect your parents, and the parents need to respect kids and their needs and everything. So yeah, I've definitely learned a lot from being a mum
Is
about
there
my.
anything of the way you were raised that you want to replicate with your kids, and things that you're like, I want to make sure I don't do this because this really bothered me when I was a kid growing up?
Um, I definitely want to create a much more like cozy, familial atmosphere with like with like sort of a lot looser, a lot sort of
Yeah,
like looser, and like lots of friends coming over, like kids friends, our friends, and just like big family meals all together, and like more like convivial. I think I've got the growing up, because my dad died when I was 5. It left such an indelible mark that there was always a sense of grief like around the home. And the home I was brought up in had these like very beautiful precious objects, which my home does as well, but I think I've like made peace if something breaks.
yeah,
Not That's not to say that like I don't care about these things. I do. I just like I'm like, you know what, if something breaks, it breaks. Like that's sad, we'll put it together. Like I'm not gonna, like the world's not gonna end. Whereas like my household was quite formal and traditional and quite like just quite more a little bit more rigid. But I and I resent, which I hated growing up. But I now I'm just like, oh, my mum lost her soulmate when she was super young with these three
yeah.
kids, 3 daughters. Like she's like a young widow in this house that's like a museum. Obviously, she just
It's also
wanted
a
to keep.
control thing. Like
Yeah, she was
you
like,
feel
I want to.
safe.
Yeah, she exactly. She's very like objects, like puts objects in. She's a little OCD, but it's like a reflection of her childhood, and she was brought up in a time when it's like children should be seen, not her. Like very traditional English, like repressed emotions. And so I think I would encourage people to be the family to be more emotional and like fun and mucking, and like yeah, more convivial and more like mucking around, and it's just a lot looser. But like I see what I don't hold it against my mum for
Yeah,
she did the best she could while grieving. Like I couldn't imagine what how
my
I would
mom.
act in that. Oh, if Tom like what if some when Tom goes away for a couple of days, I'm just like, help, what do I do? This is
I am. I'm very codependent with my husband, so I really do need his help. And he's kind of like Tom, what he does a lot. That when he's
yeah,
not here, I really feel it. So I don't understand how I have like a
no.
whole newfound respect for mothers that are doing it alone. So much respect. Is there anything that your mom did, um, or like a way of like bringing magic to your life that you really like think fondly of? You're like, I want to make sure that I
Yeah,
do it for my kids.
she was a brilliant storyteller. And every night she would tell me these like stories, and like which I used to love. So every night I remember just having this like it was a magical time. We would play with this doll that I had. She put in a really good shift at night. When she
Yeah.
wasn't going out to dinner, we would just have these like moments. And I was like, I was obsessed with her. Like my two sisters were at boarding school, and so it was just like me and my mom and Bev, obviously. Um, and I remember like leaving. I slept in her bed until like quite worryingly, until I was like worryingly old. But I would make a present for her every night and leave it on her doorstep. No, on the top of her stairs, even not her doorstep. Um, and we had an amazing relationship. But then, obviously, when I like turned 11, no, not even 11, 12, when I was like a teenager, I suddenly was like, I hate you.
Yeah.
Right. But that's like mother daughter
Rite of
relationships. That's being
passage.
a teenager. I just, from being like so close, and because I think as my dad died, I was like her little like thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got too close, and then we needed to separate. But she was a brilliant storyteller, and like yeah, told I really like cherish those moments.
Are you doing storytelling with your kids now?
Now that I'm like hearing myself say this, I'm like, fuck, I really need to get better at that. I'm like, Ruben asked me, he's like, what do you do? And I was like, I'm a writer. And he was like, why haven't you written any stories for me? Why haven't you made a magazine about dinosaurs? And I was like, he literally just asked me this yesterday. And I was like, I don't know. About dinosaurs. Like I suddenly was like, should I? And I was like, no, 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 like that. I can't. I can't do that. But
You could do a
I
little goth for kids book.
yeah, I could. But like stories, I was like, I could get into a bit of like creative writing and like some fiction. I was like, I need to like do more. At the moment, I just read. I can hear Ruben outside. At the moment, I'm doing. I'll read them books,
Yeah.
the Julia Donaldson ones. Like we've got all of the Julia Donaldson ones. But I also like I want to start reading for Phoenix. I want to read her like the Flower Fairies. But I think she's a bit too young for that. She's just turned 2. She likes like Peppa Pig. Um, so I want to get her into the Flower Fairies. And then Ruben, I've got these amazing books called like Sam's Sandwich and like Sam's Pizza and Sam's Hamburger, and it's about these siblings, Sam and Samantha, and they play all these tricks on each other by making each other really disgusting food. So I was reading that to Ruben, but yeah, I need maybe I should start doing my own stories.
I mean, that would be kind of chic. Why not? I feel like everyone else is doing that now.
Yeah,
But I don't know
space.
if it's like a stage. Also, I don't know if we would want to be that involved in doing that. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah. Um, so you're 35. You're basically jetting all over the world. You're the new face of Chloe. I think I just saw you were doing something in like I don't know Japan. I want to say like I feel like for most women they kind of like fade after becoming moms, and for you it's been the opposite. Has this been something that you are doing on purpose, or is it something that kind of just happened to you?
I think it definitely wasn't a conscious thing, but I think it makes sense that like I've always been a writer. I've worked for like ID magazine, Dazed, and Vogue, and I think I've always been much more comfortable behind the scenes, behind the screens, using the platform that I'm at to spotlight other people. That's always just been my go-to like comfort zone. And that's from being like so shy growing up. And it was just, and I liked this. I loved writing. I've always loved writing, but I think I was much more comfortable. I was too shy to be like more
It's maybe
public
about me.
facing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, I'd rather interview someone else than like be the focus. And then, but having had Ruben, there's something about becoming a mother that made me a lot more confident and like comfortable. And also getting older, I was a lot more confident and comfortable in my skin. And this happened at a time when I saw other writers and editors being these like more public facing figures, and and like suddenly like influencers were being like put on mastheads for magazines, and like celebrities were interviewing each other. Um, and so I suddenly was like, oh my God, I'm not going to have a job unless I am a little bit more like in front of the camera. At the time, I was like, if I take a selfie, like I'll die, and I'll just like throw my phone across the room and be like, oh, it's so embarrassing. And then I was like, oh my God, if you can't beat them, join them. Like, I'm just gonna have to like figure it out, try it, see if I like it, see what I think, bite the bullet. And then I did it, and then I just sort of like fell into it. And like now I can take a selfie. And I'm fine with it. No, I can't stop taking
So everyone
selfies.
else has to be taking your photos. So it just makes sense that you just look at
Um,
you take my photo.
yeah, it became it felt, I think I was suddenly more confident and comfortable do it being in other being on the other side. And then um I guess, oh, I'm just on a call, Rubes. Hi. No, it's Ruben's just come in naked.
Hi, Ruben.
Oh, he's off.
Okay.
Shy. Well, not so shy.
Yeah,
Um, anyway, it just, yeah, it just, I don't know. I became more confident as a result of having kids. So
yeah,
I think it allowed me to like do things that I wasn't, I couldn't have imagined doing. But I mean, it's not like I changed anything. I wasn't suddenly knocking on people's doors being like, photograph me. It just
yeah,
sort of happened.
yeah,
But it just happened at a time that I was generally more confident. So maybe I don't know. I don't know how. I mean, I just yeah.
yeah.
It was sort of the name. I mean, Instagram became a thing, but I mean, Instagram's become a thing before I had kids.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it in a way, but you're right. I didn't. I didn't become invisible.
It was the
Um,
opposite. It's like you're living louder than
yeah,
you ever did before. Like, you know what I
yeah,
mean? And more comfortable with like who
yeah.
you
I
are,
think
where you feel like you can put yourself out there, like to
yeah.
others, like have
I
opinions.
do.
At some point, there is
I
that.
do Instagram my kids quite a lot. I think even though people always say like never Instagram your kids, I'm just like ugh, like I have to.
I
I
also don't
find
know what else I will be posting up. Like, there's
no,
such a big part of my life
I've got
that I'm
nothing else to post.
He's also like AI already has access to them. So posting them on a social media site or not, it's already gonna happen regardless. So that whole
Yeah.
like
It is scary. Like I wonder what the whole I mean, I'm so happy I didn't have social media when I was a kid or
oh my god,
teenager.
so thankful.
Like I
Especially
was
as a teen
already
girl.
insecure. No, Tartan, really bad. I'm really worried for Phoenix. But I
I
think,
also looked really bad like for very long.
oh
Like
my God, same. I
like
like look at pictures of my younger self. I'm like, ugh.
I'm so
I'm like,
happy I didn't pick in high school though. Like all the girls I picked in high school now are like not looking their best.
well, but yeah, yeah, and also, do you know what? Like people that were attractive at school sometimes have kind of shit personalities because, like, when you're just like a hot person, you don't need to work for it.
That's true. That's true.
Every
I was
cloud.
ugly and chubby, so I had a great personality. Like the wind just came. I was reading all the books. I was doing all the things. I was really trying
Yeah,
hard.
you were like needs must. No, I look back at pictures of myself. I'm like, oh, I don't identify with that person.
Oh my god!
I'm like,
But,
who is she?
like someone sent me a picture of her high school. He was like, "Is that you?" And I was like, "Mm-hmm,
Oh,
mm-hmm.
I'm like, no, that's not me.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, yeah."
But
Um,
I see my son, and I'm like, oh my God, that's me.
what what do you think changes, or you hope it changes as far as like beauty standard goes for your daughter?
I mean, it's really bad because like I'll put her in a dress and be like, "Oh my God, you're so pretty, you're so beautiful. Like, do you want to put a pretty dress? Pretty, 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 beautiful, beautiful, beautiful." Ramming these words down her throat, and she's two. Whereas Ruben, I'm not like, oh, "You're so handsome." I'm like, "Oh my God, well done!" Congratulating him on things he's done. I'm like, "Well done, that's amazing. What you're doing is amazing." and it's like kind of creates like I'm part of the problem by
Yeah.
rewarding Phoenix for like aesthetic
Yeah.
achievement, and
Yeah.
like rewarding my son for like doing stuff, which is
Yeah.
such a sort of like gendered stereotype. um I guess it's like what I want to what I want to be able to like instill in my daughter is conversations around this. So basically, like being to Phoenix, just making her aware of like the gender gap and and like these gendered expectations early on, so that for me, what was like so amazing is like studying art history at Oxford and like immersing myself in like feminist discourse, reading Judith Butler and like Linda Nochlin and like all the kind of the great feminist thinkers, and like realizing that like gender was a construct, and like queer theory and Foucault, post-structuralism, and I was just like, oh, I was really into all of that, and I was like, okay, you must question everything.
Yeah.
And I just hope to instill that in Phoenix a lot earlier, not being like, this is Foucault, all knowledge is produced, but being just making her aware as a teenager, like it's not all about looks. um it's all about like her personality, and like just I don't know, just like telling her to like, I don't know, just being able to be there for her, but also being and like teaching her about like beauty comes in all different forms, and like inspiring her to you know be well read and focus on other things, but also like, and maybe this makes me part of the problem, but like doing stuff that like my mom never got me like a pair of GHDs, which like having like hideous mop head, I like could have done with. It would have made me a lot happier. So like just being there for that, like not being like, not pandering to all of her needs, and like can like,
But assisting in her in
it's just see, it's just
highlighting
basically
the things that she wants to be highlighted about herself, and like,
like, okay, if you want, like, it's fine to want better hair, or like, I
yeah.
don't know, like better makeup, or like
Yeah.
better clothes or whatever, like let's talk about it. But also it's looks on everything. I think just having an open dialogue and just
I
talking
mean,
to her about all these
also the
things.
fact that she's going to inherit your closet of like piano stuff
I'm like,
alone, she already kind of has like half of
yeah,
that.
all yours.
All the stuff. You're a beauty editor, obviously, so I have to ask you, what would be your top three treatments? Like,
I
yeah,
love polynucleotides,
what's that?
which it's like so it's the salmon sperm. So
I've done
you
that. It's great.
I love it. So you inject it in your face,
Hmm.
and it basically stimulates collagen, and I'm really into that.
Okay.
I've done quite a few now, and I feel like I really see the difference. Also, it could be a placebo, but if it's tricked me into thinking I look better, it's money well spent,
Yeah, I mean,
right? If I think I look better, even if technically
yeah,
it's done nothing, I'm whatever.
it doesn't matter. It's like
No,
therapy. It's like I feel more comfortable,
I
and
think
then
I'm
I will
so great. I'm like, I'm
shine.
pretty, yay. So yeah, I think the salmon's farm is a go-to.
Yeah.
Um, I what else do I like? I was like trying to not do Botox, um, because I was like, you know what? I like really miss my natural facial expressions, and
Hmm.
like, I want to be able to like frown, like, I mean, I could always do that, but like the
Yeah.
frown thing anyway. And I did like a month or 2 months, like being able to frown, and then like, which was fine. I was like, oh my God, like,
I can frown.
I was like nostalgic, yay. But then having spent like the summer looking after my own children, and seeing my face constantly cross and stressed. No, just like angry, like
Yeah.
furrowed brow,
Yeah.
anger. I was like, oh no, no, it's got to go.
Yeah.
So I just had some Botox done, and it felt
Any
great.
cream that you think works like at all?
I
Or
really like
I feel like
I
you
like
tried everything.
I like a retinol,
Okay.
definitely. The one I use is like, it's called Cleara, Klira, and it is this prescription based cream that I get like every month or couple. I can't. It just arrives in the post. It's great,
Love that.
and it's a mix of azelaic acid and retinol, and
Mhm.
I think my skin has definitely benefited from that. Like the whole, it's like a lot. The texture is much better, and yeah, I swear by it.
Yeah.
What I've got dermatitis on my chin and like here this area, so I can't use all the dreamy designer products that I get sent. Sadly, I have to use like La Roche Posay or CeraVe. Really, no perfume, no oils. Just super super simple. So like so yeah, so if I'm doing moisturizer, it's got to be like super simple, and I can't put too much stuff. I can't really. That's why I'm much more of like I have my clearer retinol azelaic acid, which I do every night. Um, so is like my go-to, and then I'll do SPF in the day, and a La Roche-Posay Cica Plus Balm. I can't remember
Okay.
the name. That one. That I do for moisturizer, but I can't really do like multi-steps anymore. I used to, and then my skin was like, no.
Breaking out.
So I'm much more of a treatment girly, like the polynucleotides love. Profiler is really good if you want like a glow. I've tried Neogen as well, which is like uses plasma and it's like it's more of like the top layer of the skin. I mean, it's like you need a lot of downtime because you look like Freddy Krueger after you have it done. So like I'll have it done and like go to the country.
Yeah.
What really troubles me is that whenever I get something done and I look like insane, whether I'm like swollen or like lumps and bumps or whatever it is, I'll come home or like fully red, peeling, whatever. My kids like aren't freaked out. They think I look exactly the same. I'm like, do you not think I look like weird? And they're like, no. I'm like, oh,
It's
weird.
love. They just love you. They're just like, you
Yeah.
look beautiful, mommy.
Oh, I'm like, you just think I look ugly all the time. Like, what is it?
No.
Um,
Isn't Ruben in love with you? Because I feel like there is such a. People told me about this before. I have two sons, and funny enough, my second one is also called Phoenix. And they were like, "You're gonna fall in love in a different way," and they're in love with you. And I'm like, my son wakes me up every day with a true lover's kiss because he thinks he's Prince Charming, and I'm
oh,
like,
I don't have that. So I did have it. I've had it in phases, but right now, Ruben is like so a daddy's boy. Like, he's like, his dad is his world,
this is the
which is
same.
so nice to see. I am a bit like, really? But also I'm like happy for them that they've got their in jokes and whatever. And like I can't really want someone to like be physical with. And it's like I'm not into violence. Like I'm
Yeah,
not into like playing evil
I don't want to kill anyone.
warlords. I don't want to kill anyone.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I don't want to
yeah,
be like it's just not me. I'm just like waiting for Phoenix to like her attention span to like improve so that we can play like a really intense game of Barbies and mermaids and like tea parties.
yeah,
Um, that's like my strength. I'm like here to like hug and be cozy. And I think in later life I'll be here to like give good advice on friendship dramas and matters of the heart, that kind of thing. But no, he's very daddy phase.
yeah. Doesn't it make you proud? Because you're choosing a partner for you, but more than that, you're really choosing a parent for your kids too. When it comes to
Yeah.
like boys, is who they are gonna want to become, and for girls, is who they're gonna want to date later on too, to some extent.
Yeah. No,
It's like
I
stable
really
relationship.
I definitely didn't get with Tom being like daddy material.
You
It
did or
was
you didn't?
I didn't. No, I wasn't like thinking. I just wasn't thinking about it. I was just like, I really like this guy, and he really
It's
likes
hot.
me. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
hot, and he likes me.
yeah.
Um, but like, no, I wasn't like, oh my god, like this is the father of my children, and like he could have been. I mean, I didn't even like. It was such an amazing surprise and so shock that he was like so better than I could have ever possibly imagined. Um, I think maybe he didn't go into it being like she's going to be a great mom because I kind of joke that like Tom's got three kids that like I'm the third kid. Um,
You're the smallest. You're the youngest one, obviously.
yeah, I'm not the smallest. Um, yeah, but it's very, the dynamic is that like we're three kids and like we can't do it. I can't do anything when he's not there. So I think neither of us went into it being like, this is the person that will raise my kids. I just happened to really luck out.
Yeah.
And Tom didn't, but
It's okay.
he's
You
got a
love that
great
in
friend.
other ways.
Exactly. He's a great friend in me.
What is something that no one warned you about motherhood or parenthood that I
Um,
wish you would have known, or that just really surprised you?
I knew it was like hard because everyone's like, oh yeah, like raising a child is hard, but it's like it's hard. One thing I actually think, you can love your children, but there might be moments where you don't like them necessarily, and that is a really like hard pill to digest, and really like that has really shocked me. And I think I did see it with my mum. Like I definitely saw her be like obviously love us, but I could see moments where she was like, oh my god, you guys are like fucking horrific, I hate you. But when you're on the other receiving end, you're like, oh well, I hate you too. But I think yeah, that kind of shocked me to have that experience, because it's like, when you get cross with a child, you're like, oh my god, you're just like so angry, like when they're being very disobedient, you're like, oh my god, I'm so consumed with like rage and anger right now. But then the minute you have that, you're like, no, I love you, and like I feel sorry for you, and I don't want you to be feeling sad because of something I've said. And like it's just a lot. It's all the emotions
It's a
basically.
lot. They are
Well,
too
I
regulating yourself is very hard when they're really pushing your limits. Like, and it's very.
yeah,
I have a very
and
hard
like
time.
it's made me quite a like tough, sort of stern person, which is like not in my nature actually. Like I'm very much, I'll put the light on because the light's going now. um it's not really in my nature to be cross. Like I hate confrontation, and I like find it very hard to stand up for myself. But being a mom, there's like no room for that. You have to be like, I'm like, there are things that I didn't care about. Like I can't give you an example right now because my mind's blank. But like there's ways that I'll live my life in a way like quite like sloppy, and like I'll have no boundaries and da da da. But you can't. The kids need boundaries, and like I think
And they need a
you need.
schedule too, which is also very weird because it's not how I usually live my life. But if they don't have that schedule, they actually do go mental.
Yeah, no, it's true. And like when they're trying to force them to eat, part of me is like, oh, who cares? Like, if you don't want to eat, who cares? But then the other part's like, no, you need to finish that meal because its waste is bad, and like there are children dying,
Oh
which
my
is
god.
like always what like is the stereotypical thing. People are like,
Yeah.
you need to eat this because there's children dying,
Yep.
and it's like, oh, you're just constantly feeling like guilty because I don't know,
Yeah.
yeah,
If they don't eat, they don't eat. If they eat too much, now they're fat. Like, I mean, there's just always something to be concerned about, and it takes a lot of mental space.
it,
Um, yeah. Yeah. What do you hope your kids remember about you as a mom?
um just that they were loved, that I loved them and like had a great time with them and was fun, but also like caring, and they listened to them, and I'd like them to think that I really knew them, because I think you can like go through life as a parent and as a child not knowing the other and just
Yeah.
it coexisting. But I would, yeah, I want them to think that they really knew me and that I really knew them and that we both loved each other.
That's so beautiful. I never thought about it that way, but it's so true. Because you can just go in auto mode and you're all living in the same house, but that doesn't mean that it
It
doesn't
doesn't mean
mean,
anything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much for taking the time
Oh,
today and being on the podcast. I'm so excited. Thank you.
thank you
Thank you.
so
Thank
much for
you.
having me.